Hey everybody, week 15. We are counting down at this point. We're getting really close. So just stay focused. Don't slack too much at the very end of the semester. All right, so what we've got this week, you need to watch chapter 12, which is on the senses. Out of all the nervous system stuff, this is my favorite by far. So we talk about general senses, which is like your sense of touch, your ability to detect temperature and things like that. But where it gets interesting, we talk a lot more about your special senses. So sight, smell, taste, hearing, things like that. So this is my favorite one by far. Just a heads up, I told some of you in lab last week, but there's going to be a section where we talk about the eye and the ear specifically, and we talk about the different parts. There'll be a diagram. I've also got a worksheet and another separate video where I go through how to identify the parts of the eye and the ear. I want you to really pay attention to that, because on our final, on the actual lecture exam, I'm going to give you a sheet of paper that's going to have an eye diagram and an ear diagram. It's similar, like identical to the ones that are in those lecture videos. And you are going to have to know the parts. It's going to be a matching thing where there's going to be arrows and a bunch of things, and you have to match the name of the ear structure or the eye structure with the arrow where it's located. All right? So just a heads up on that. Study it all, but especially pay attention to that, because that'll be a big chunk of points on your final. Okay? Once you finish the Chapter 12 lecture videos, you can do the Learn Smart assignment. So remember, you've had one for 10, 11, and 12, 2 points apiece. That adds up to 6 points, bonus points you can get on your exam. All right. The lab that we're going to meet for this week, I'm excited about this one. We're doing nervous system dissections. They're really simple dissections, but they're interesting. I like these a lot. There's a sheep brain that we're going to dissect. That one's pretty simple. You just cut it down the middle. We'll open up and we'll look at a lot of the brain structures you learned about last week in Chapter 11. You'll be able to see those on an actual mammal brain next week. And then an eyeball, which is, again, a really quick dissection, but we get to see a bunch of interesting parts of the eyeball when we do that. Okay. After we are done with the dissections, two things are going to happen. We're going to split up probably into two groups, and you'll get a chance to go to the cadaver lab with me. We're going to go through and look at the cadavers. We'll point out some of the muscles and things that we have been learning, and then a lot of the other internal organs too. So you don't have to do that, but if you're interested, you can go in and look at the cadavers. It'll be a quick trip, 15 minutes or so, but you'll get a chance to look at that, and we'll talk more about the human gross anatomy class too, if you got any questions about that. After you finish 201, that's the class that you're eligible to register for or apply for. And then if you are not in the group that's going, or if you just don't want to go to the cadaver lab, the big thing, and this is probably the most important, is you're going to have time to go through and just make sure you really, really know the muscles. Our lab exam is next week on the muscles. So this is your last chance in lab this week to look at the models, ask questions, make sure you know how to identify everything. All right, like that's the most important thing next week, honestly. It's just making sure you study the muscles, because the lab exam is coming up the week after. All right? Okay, I think that's got it. If you have any questions, if you need help with anything, let me know. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a Connect assignment. That's the other thing. There's a Connect assignment on the nervous system. It's going to deal a lot with well, it's a little bit of everything. You've got the senses, it's like ear, eye, and things like that, but you also have brain structures. And other nervous system structures. So that's going to be due on Sunday, the 25th. This is our last Connect assignment, so this will be the last one. So make sure you don't get a zero right there at the very end. Okay? If you need help, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.